It's not about a temple. It's not about a mosque. It's not about a church. It's not about a gurudwara or any other place of worship. It's about unlocking every place of worship for devotees. And can we afford to do so while we battle a pandemic of our lifetime? These were visuals recorded today during rituals at the Jagannath temple in Odisha's Puri. Thousands in attendance. Social distancing lost in devotion. Question for India tonight. Should India wait to worship or unlock? Top focus on To The Point tonight.
All right, so right at the onset of this debate on To The Point this evening, one thing needs to be set very straight. It's not really about a temple, a gurudwara, or possibly a mosque. It's about, are we ready to actually unlock our religious places? You just saw those visuals of Jagannath Puri there. Thousands of people gathered today. Devotion cast social distancing norm to the wind. Can we afford to do so at a time when we are still, it's not that our numbers are waning, we are still registering huge spikes. Should we wait a while before we open out our religious places' doors? Or should we open out because this is the new normal? Take a look at this.
Closed for 2 months, temples, mosques and churches across India are gearing up to reopen on the 8th of June. But the pandemic has changed the way we worship. The standard operating procedures issued by the Home Ministry say entrances will have hand sanitizers, all worshippers will undergo thermal screening, only asymptomatic persons will be allowed entry. Everyone must wear a mask inside the shrine as well. There will be staggered entry of pilgrims to avoid overcrowding.
Before lakhs of devotees make their way to religious places, sanitization drive is in full swing. I'm standing at the Hanuman temple, which is also called the Prachin Hanuman temple in Connaught Place. The authorities are making sure that every nook and corner of the temple is being cleaned before devotees can be allowed on the 8th of June. They're also saying they'll make sure only 10 to 15 people are allowed inside at a time. Social distancing will be a must.
Many temple boards are already working on plans. The famous hill shrine of Lord Venkateshwara at Tirupati will be thrown open for darshan on the 11th of June.
We are open for devotees for darshan from 11th onwards. The two on slot booking. They can book online slot and come. If somebody else is not in a position to book online slot, they can as well come by obtaining proper permissions from the concerned state governments.
Social distancing norms were thrown to the wind during rituals at the Jagannath temple in Odisha's Puri. These crowds were witnessed during the Snana Yatra at the temple, considered to be the day of the birth of Lord Jagannath. The Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi is also gearing up to usher in devotees, but caution is the key word. The temple compound is being sanitized before the doors open to worshippers.
पहला स्टेज उनका जो बिल्कुल गेट सड़क के पास जो गेट है एंट्री गेट वहीं पर उनकी थर्मल स्कैनिंग की जाएगी। थर्मल स्कैनिंग के बाद उचित पाए जाने वाले लोगों को अंदर भेजा जाएगा। अंदर आने के बाद एक कैचमेंट एरिया के बाद 2-2 मीटर के गोले 2-2 मीटर की दूरी पर हमने मार्किंग करी हुई है जहां पर श्रद्धालुओं को खड़ा होना होगा। कोई भी श्रद्धालु जब अगला गोला खाली होगा तभी आगे बढ़ेगा।
Delhi's historic Jama Masjid will also open with abundant caution. Authorities are urging worshippers to adhere to every single norm.
नमाज पढ़ने वालों के लिए मार्किंग कर दी गई है कि कितने फासले से वो नमाज पढ़ें और इसी तरह जो हौज है हमारा उसके लिए उसको खाली करा लिया है और लोगों से कहा जाएगा कि लोग अपने अपने घरों से वुजू कर कर आएं, हाथ अच्छी तरह से धोकर आएं।
The Catholic Archdiocese of Delhi is waiting for clear guidelines from the Delhi government on community worship. When places of worship finally reopen, masks and social distancing remain the mantra to avoid the coronavirus. With Aishwarya Paliwal and Sanjay Sharma in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
So one thing we want to put right out there, that there are standard operating procedures which honor social distancing norms which have already been set in place by the central government. A lot of states are also devising extra measures. The question is not whether a temple is opening up and why should it open up, or a mosque is opening up, why should it open up. But we did see an example of what happened in Bhubaneswar today. Should we wait a little while longer to worship in religious places, or it's time to unlock because this is the new normal? I want to bring in today Brinda Adige, who joins us as a social activist. We'll be joined in a very short while by Swami Chakrapani as well. I also have with me Asad Khan Falahi, Islamic scholar. Ms. Adige, I want to begin with you, and the question I want to ask you is, at this juncture, do you think it's better to go ahead, open out all our religious places? We saw what happened in Puri today. Or wait?
We absolutely must wait. We are not only seeing what happened in Jagannath Puri, but also see what has happened in Israel, where they have opened up the schools and now they want to shut it down because there has been an increase in the cases of COVID. India is a country where we want to sustain ourselves with religion, religious rituals and ceremonies. And it is not going to be easy, no matter what SOPs are put down. It is not going to be easy to maintain all of those SOPs. We know that there is not going to be any social distancing. That is going to be the biggest challenge. Let us not fool ourselves. We need to be responsible, and it is our duty to protect ourselves as well as protect others. So we do not have to open it now. We must wait.
Mr. Falahi, is it prudent right now to wait and watch and then open out in a phased manner, put in extra precautions, put in harder SOPs, or do you think we waited enough? This is the new normal.
Now we have waited enough now, and now we have to learn to live with COVID-19. As government says, and all the countries are saying that Corona is not going to wipe out. We have to learn to live with this disease. The problem is that we have to maintain the social distancing. We have to follow the SOPs, standard operation procedures, and all the guidelines given by the government. We have to follow it properly and strictly. Then we can fight against the COVID-19. And it's not a matter of religious places. We have seen that schools are going to open, universities are going to open, and other places are going to open, and they all are going to follow the SOPs and all the guidelines and all the safety norms and all. So why should religious places should left behind? See, my point is that if you are going to open,
I also have Swami Chakra. Okay, I have Swami Chakrapani also who's joining me. चक्रपाणी जी, मेरा बस एक यही सवाल है आपसे. आज आपने देखा जगन्नाथपुरी में क्या हुआ. भक्ति में लीन जितने भी डेवोटीज आए थे, सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का कोई नाम नहीं था. तो थोड़ा और इंतजार किया जाए क्योंकि हमारे केसेस तो कम नहीं हो रहे हैं.
ये आप जरा हमें ये बताइए, मंदिर खोलने का विरोध कर रहे हैं, जब शराब की दुकानें खुली और शराब की दुकानों पे सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग कहीं देखने को नहीं मिला, वहां पे शराब की दुकानों को बंद करने के लिए लोगों ने आवाज क्यों नहीं उठाया? सवाल इस बात का है कि आज देश ही नहीं पूरे विश्व की सरकारें पूरी तरह फेल हो गई है, और जब हवा बुझा दिया करती है हमें घरों के चिराग, तो हमें रोशनी देती है मंदिरों के चिराग. उसके बाद जब पूरी दुनिया में नकारात्मकता है, कोई वैक्सीन नहीं है, तो सिर्फ एक परमात्मा का स्थानीय एक ऐसा है जहां से हम और लोगों के लिए कामना कर सकते हैं, लोगों के लिए हम सुखमय जीवन के लिए विश्व कल्याण की कामना कर सकते हैं, अपनी कल्याण की कामना कर सकते हैं, तो उसमें लोगों को आपत्ति हो रहा है. तो ये तो बिल्कुल गलत है. और देखो, जो मंदिर में पूजा करने जाएगा, जो यज्ञ करेगा, जो हवन करेगा, जो धार्मिक अनुष्ठानों से जुड़ा होगा, उसको कोरोना होने का मतलब नहीं बनता और उससे नहीं होगा. ये तो नकारात्मक लोग जो शराब पीते और नकारात्मकता से ही इसकी उत्पत्ति हुई है. और
देखिए स्वामी चक्रपाणी जी, आप स्वामी चक्रपाणी जी, मैं आपसे सिर्फ दो चीजें बोलना चाहूंगी। पहली बात, ये मंदिर की बात नहीं है, ये हम इस शो में एस्टैब्लिश करना चाह रहे हैं। ये नहीं है कि मंदिर क्यों खुला, मंदिर, मस्जिद, चर्च, हमको वेट करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए। और दूसरी बात, स्वामी जी, मैं आपसे ये चीज जरूर कहूंगी, ये मत कहिए जो हवन करेगा उसको कोरोना नहीं होगा, क्योंकि ये आप गलत कह रहे हैं। कोरोना जिसको भी होगा जो मास्क नहीं पहनेगा और सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग को फॉलो नहीं करेगा, ये आप मत बोलिए, क्योंकि जो आप ये कह रहे हैं ये गलत कह रहे हैं। हवन, भक्ति, प्रेयर से ये नहीं है कि कोरोना रुक जाएगा। आप कितनी भक्ति कर ले, कोरोना अगर आपने रूल्स नहीं फॉलो किए, आपको कोरोना होगा।
कीर्ति जी, जो परमात्मा का नाम जपेगा उसको कुछ नहीं होने वाला, और अपने अपने अनुसार से पूजा करेगा, पाठ करेगा। ये तो नास्तिकों द्वारा फैला हुआ है। और आपको बता रहा हूँ, जो लोग, डॉक्टर तो बहुत फॉलो कर रहे हैं, अधिकतर तो बेचारे डॉक्टर इसमें फंस रहे हैं। जो लोग फॉलो, मास्क पहन रहे, 24 घंटा सैनिटाइजर से हाथ धो रहे हैं, और वो सबसे ज्यादा पीड़ित पाए जाते हैं। सवाल इस बात का है, देखिए, परमात्मा के द्वार बंद करना सबसे बड़ा गलत काम है, ये पाप है। शराब की दुकानें आपने खोल दिया। और
I want to go to Brinda Dige, और नहीं, मैं एक बात नहीं, स्वामी चक्रपाणी जी, मैं इतनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी रखती हूँ कि मैं आपको इस शो पे नहीं बैठने दूंगी और बोलने दोगे कि आपने कि अगर भक्ति करेंगे तो दूर हो जाएगा कोरोना, तो मैं ये अलाउ नहीं करूंगी। But I want to go back to Brinda Dige. Brinda, this is just bizarre because, at one end you made it about a temple. It's not about a temple. It's about any religious place.
Right, and this is exactly what our greatest fear is going to be. It's not just this Swami, but we are going to have religious leaders saying that when churches and mosques and gurdwaras and temples open up, God will look after you. No, that is the wrong message.
Please bolne dijiye.
The faith that we have is so strong that we will not follow your SOPs. People will go and touch the statues. People will go and kiss it. There is no way you can stop them. No matter how much you fumigate, no matter what sanitizers you use, please remember, these are irresponsible actions when we are not able to follow it and keep in our mind that God will take care of us. This is a wrong message, and somebody as responsible as
Brinda,
this Swami has no right
Brinda,
to make this statement.
Brinda, I just want to ask you one question before I go to Mr. Falahi, and that is this, it's not about a temple. It's not that why is this temple opening up? It's about any religious place. Would you think that is your argument?
No religious place should be allowed, because these are religious places where there is going to be a community, 3 people, 5 people, 10 people. Where are you going to have your social distancing? You are going to now call for security guards and police, which were available or were present when your liquor shops were open. We know the riots that have been happening in all these places. You want police to be there in a place of peace, where people have come for spiritual nurturing and spiritual peace. You want police, you want security guards. What are you trying to talk? That spirituality will I not get anywhere else? Let's not forget that this is also part of the economy that a lot of temples, mosques and churches have lost out on.
Okay, all right, okay. Mr. Falahi, and the question I want to pose the same to Swami Chakrapani. God lives in your heart. भगवान तो दिल में है। अब जरूरी क्या है कि हम मंदिर खोलें, मस्जिद खोलें, चर्चेस खोलें? जब टाइम आएगा खोल देंगे, जब केसेस कम होने लगेंगे तब खोल सकते हैं।
Preeti ji, my fellow panelist, she was making a point. If people are going to worship places, they are not going to follow the SOP. But tell me one thing: what they are doing in markets, what they are doing in schools, what they are doing in universities, what they are doing in public places. The same thing happening everywhere. Very less people are following SOPs. So what is the point of locking up the worship places? And I want to add one point here. Yeah, I strongly believe that if my God does not want कि मुझे कोरोना हो या किस तरह की कोई बीमारी हो, तो it's my belief कि नहीं होगा मुझे. But at the same time, I have to follow the SOPs and I have to follow all the health guidelines also. That doesn't mean, but you are focusing that no worship places will be open up just because people are not going to follow.
Okay, but Mr. Falahi, Mr. Falahi, I just want to correct you. Before I go back to Swami Chakrapani, I just want to correct you. Schools are not opening up on the 8th of June. Universities are not opening up on the 8th of June. So, I want to correct you there. But स्वामी चक्रपाणी जी, जो आपने पहले बोला मैं वो अलाउ नहीं करूंगी. मैं आपको ये प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं यूज करने दूंगी कि आप बोले कि आप भक्ति करें, आपको कोरोना नहीं होगा. पर आपको लगता है, जैसे मैंने इनसे पूछा कि भगवान तो दिल में है, दिल में भक्ति कर लीजिए, जब केसेस कम आ जाएंगे तब खोल दीजिएगा.
नहीं, देखिए ऐसा है, देखिए आपकी जो बातें हैं वो चलिए एक स्तर पे मैं मान लूं, भगवान तो है ही है, हर जगह कड़कड़ में है. लेकिन आप ये बताओ, जहां पे शराब की दुकानें खोलने में आपको सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है, जबकि उससे साइंटिफिक को हुआ है कि शराब पीने से प्रतिरोधक क्षमता कम होता है. आप जरा ये देखिए प्रीति जी कि मंदिर जो जाता है, जब भगवान में आस्था करता है तो उसकी प्रतिरोधक ऐसे ही बढ़ती है. जब किसी में उसकी आस्था होती है तो उसकी प्रतिरोधक क्षमता भी बढ़ता है और उसको लड़ने में वो होगा. अब उसके लिए विश्व के लिए कामना करेगा. तो आप मंदिरों के दरवाजे बंद करके कुछ नहीं हासिल होने वाला, इसलिए मंदिर को तो बंद करना ही नहीं चाहिए. हाँ, जो सरकार के गाइडलाइन.
स्वामी चक्रपाणी जी, ये मंदिर की बात नहीं है ना, हम कितनी बार आपको बोले, ये मंदिर की बात नहीं है. ये मंदिर, मस्जिद, चर्च सबकी बात है. हम नहीं बोल रहे बंद कर दो, हम बोल रहे हैं कि आज जो जगन्नाथपुरी में हुआ, अगर वो हर दिन हर मंदिर में होगा तो फिर सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग कैसे होगा जब केसेस राइज कर रहे हैं. चलिए वृंदा, आई नो यू वांट टू मेक अ पॉइंट, क्विकली कम इन, आई नीड टू रैप अप द डिबेट.
जब मैं मंदिर की बात करता हूं तो सभी धर्म स्थानों की बात कर रहा हूं. तो लेकिन उसमें सभी धर्म स्थान अपने अपने अनुसार,
ठीक है, चलिए सभी
प्रार्थना करेगा,
मान लिया,
तो निश्चित रूप से विश्व में शांति आएगा.
Vrinda, come in and then I'll wrap up the debate. Can we just go to Vrinda?
अभी तक विश्व में कहीं वैक्सीन बना नहीं और आप पीने लगे.
Please just get Vrinda. Can we asking people to come staggeringly? No, it will not happen. What happened in Jagannath Puri is exactly what is going to happen in every church, in every temple and in every mosque, and that is risking ourselves and actually undoing all of these 70 days of work that all of us have put in. I think we need to be disciplined and I think we need to be responsible for others as well as for ourselves.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you all for joining us. Thank you. Ultimately, it'll come down to one question. When domestic skies were opened out, there was one advice which was given to all. Fly if you must. If one does believe in God, then if God is in your heart, till the time the numbers start coming out, would we possibly be doing the right thing by not opening out religious institutions? We saw what happened today in Jagannath Puri. If devotion can cast social distancing norms aside, we'd be in for a lot of trouble. We leave it for our viewers to decide on what they feel is right. I just want to now turn to this one story which is heart-rending. Is Delhi in COVID disarray? We've heard a lot of statements coming in from the Delhi administration which inspired faith that Delhi was ready to take on coronavirus. However, these stories tell an entirely different tale. Listen in.
This is 67-year-old Lakhjeet Singh. A Delhi resident who was tested positive for COVID-19 on June 1st. And on June 4th, he passed away at the LNJP hospital. While her father was struggling to breathe, Amarpreet sent out an SOS tweet to the Delhi government. And an hour later, she said, "He's no more. The government failed us." The family claims that the patient was denied admission by the hospital, which led to his death. The family also claims that 2 days before Lakhjeet Singh's death, they tried reaching out to various hospitals to get the patient admitted, but it was of no help. Offering condolences to the grieving family, LNJP Hospital issued a statement. The hospital claims that at 8:05 a.m. on June 4th, the patient's daughter put a tweet saying that the patient was denied admission. LNJP countered the claim and said that as per its records, the patient was declared brought dead at 7:37 a.m. The Gangaram Hospital, where the patient was tested positive, claims there were no beds that day and it couldn't track missed calls due to the rush.
The LNJP has also issued a statement saying that the deceased person, Lakhjit Singh, was brought dead to the hospital and the hospital administration did not deny any admission. Now, this scenario raises a question as to what are the preparations of Delhi government. With camera person Nasir Khan, Nikhil Lakhwani for India Today.
All right, we are going to keep a close eye on all the developments in Delhi, in Mumbai. These are cities recording huge spikes and they're economic drivers. We're looking at opening up the economy. If these cities continue to register such huge spikes, how are we going to deal with that? Well, with that, it's a wrap on To The Point this evening on Friday. But we do leave you with these images. It's World Environment Day and always a time where we should think about the wildlife in India and what we are doing wrong at this point of time. We had a story which we carried yesterday about an elephant that was fed explosives in a pineapple. Well, that's just practically the tip of the iceberg. With that, it's a wrap. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Days before the annual World Environment Day, headlines across India carried this heart-wrenching image. A pregnant elephant in Kerala died after eating a pineapple. The fruit, stuffed with chemicals, was possibly meant for wild boars. A dubious practice by local people to control the boars digging up agricultural patches. The elephant suffered severe burns in the mouth and innards and died a painful death. Uproar ensued, but lost amid the uprightest anger was the more critical reason for such an incident happening: the vanishing of elephant reserves, leading the animals to venture closer to habitation, giving rise to conflict.
Conflict is intense, Rajdeep. Over 100 elephants are killed every year in India illegally, and over 55-60 are killed by people protecting crops. In turn, elephants kill over 600 humans. Now, the elephants are not predators. They are not killing humans in order to eat them. In fact, they would want to avoid people. But the conflict occurs often in the crop fields, or on roads, or in human inhabited spaces. And however large our elephant reserves, we have the largest elephant reserves in Asia with the maximum elephants. Number of state governments have done a lot to protect them over the last many years. But the fact is, a very large part of the range of elephants is outside protected areas. And that is where the conflicts are intense.
According to the Forest Survey of India 2019 report, forest cover in India has increased. While the definition of forest cover as per this report has been questioned. But this apart, the fact also is that crucial wildlife corridors are shrinking. On April 7th, the Standing Committee of the National Board on Wildlife cleared 36 projects in protected wildlife areas, including the Western Ghats, and a coal mining project inside an elephant reserve in Assam. Activists say that as per the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, under which the board functions, there is no provision for meetings over video. The Forest Conservation Act 1980 too does not say if decisions can be taken over video conferencing. On April 23rd, the Forest Advisory Committee met over video conferencing to consider 10 projects, which included exploration for uranium mining in Amrabad Tiger Reserve in Telangana and the building of dams in the Dibang Valley in Assam. In a tweet on April 15th, the Environment Ministry stated that these video conference meetings are being facilitated by the Environment Minister to approve environment clearance proposals for seamless economic growth during COVID-19.
Proactive, governance and a different model of governance rather than a Gadkari model of governance, which is only about the speed at which we are building the roads, is what is a success story. And success story of Javadekar is not about environment protection, but is about environmental clearance. He says that I'm the best environment minister because I gave clearance to cut forest and to mining projects and to other river linking projects faster than any other minister in the history of our country.